Hey guys, in today's video, I'll be showcasing Comfey from the Stellar Crown expansion set. Comfey doesn't seem like much, but it has a very unique attack called Flower Shower. For just a single psychic energy, each player draws 3 cards, and what makes this attack special is that you force your opponent to draw 3 cards as well, and there's really not a lot of cards that can do that in the format right now. And the whole strategy for this build will really center around this attack, and so our main goal will be to just simply mill our opponent's deck until they deck out. But it's not as simple as you might think, since there are cards that your opponent can use to put the cards back into their deck. So to prevent that from happening, first we have Xeroxic's Machinations. This forces your opponent to discard cards from their hand until they only have 3 cards left. And we also have Hand Trimmer. This forces both players to discard cards from their hand until they only have 5 cards left. Having your opponent discard cards from their hand make it more difficult for them to put cards back into their deck. Next up, we also have Airy. Your opponent reveals their hand and you can discard up to 2 item cards you find there. It's usually best to target recovery items when you use this so that your opponent cannot put any more cards from their discard pile back to their deck. And then we also have Misfortune Sisters. You look at the top 5 cards of your opponent's deck and you can discard any number of item cards you find there. Again, this is great for eliminating more cards from your opponent's deck. Using Comfey to simply draw cards though is not that easy since it can easily get knocked out, but there are ways you can avoid damage. First, we can utilize the Crushing Hammers. With a successful coin flip, you can discard an energy card attached to one of your opponent's Pokemon. This will make it more difficult for your opponent to attack. And of course, we have the very powerful Neutralization Zone A-Spec Stadium card. This basically prevents any attack damage from your opponent's Pokemon EX or Pokemon B from being done to your Pokemon with no rule box. This will make your Comfey immune to any damage while you continue to force your opponent to draw out cards. The only downside to this card, however, is that it is not recoverable. You can only use this once per game, so it's always best to just use it at the very late stages of any game. As for the other cards worth noting, we also have 1 copy of Mimikyu with a Safeguard ability. This will make it more difficult for your opponent to knock it out with their EX or V Pokemon. This will help you to stall a few turns safely, especially if they can't knock out this Mimikyu, while your opponent keeps drawing cards every turn. And then we also have Mawile. We're using this more for its Tempting Trap attack. For a single colorless energy, this will prevent your opponent from retreating their defending Pokemon. You may just be able to force your opponent to use up their resources just to switch out their Pokemon. And finally, we also have Gravity Gemstone. While this tool card is attached to your active Pokemon, the retreat cost of both active Pokemon is increased by 1 colorless energy. This will make it even more difficult for your opponent to retreat, especially if your opponent cannot attack. You can just trap one of their Pokemon while you mill out their deck with Comfey. I gotta say, this Comfey build is a very unique mill deck. It's really difficult to win with, especially when you go against a deck with a lot of switching options. I lost really badly to Palafin EX and Petron EX combo because they had an unlimited switching option, and since this deck is dependent on using a lot of items, getting item lock can be very devastating as well. And I was close but ultimately lost a Venomoth matchup since I really couldn't recover any more of my Pokemon. Overall, this Comfey build is actually a really fun and unique build to play. It's not going to win you every game, but it's definitely worth a try. Anyways, that's pretty much it. You can find the complete deck list in the description, and now please enjoy the following gameplay videos showcasing Comfey. Before we get into the video, I have a small request. If you're liking the content I create, please leave a like to this video, and please support this channel by subscribing if you haven't already. This is a small click for you, but for me, it means a lot. Thank you so much for all of your support. Alright, on to our first match. We have 2 basic Pokemon available to us. We got Mawile to go into the active spot. I think this is a good opportunity to just put it in the active. So hopefully if my opponent puts a non-attacking Pokemon in their active, we can trap it. Hey, it's a Blood Moon Ursaluna EX. Alright, that's a good Pokemon to trap in the active, especially it has high retreat cost, and usually that's used late game because it gets a discount basically on the energy cost, depending on how many prizes their opponent has already taken. However, that's not going to be a problem for us because we're not going to be taking any prizes. We're just going to be milling them. But this is a Lugia VSTAR matchup, and setting up those Archeops, they can just energize Blood Moon Ursaluna and attack with it. So that's going to be a big problem. But we do have some ways to disrupt this match. Probably set up Mimikyu just so we can prevent any damage done to it, and then we could probably use Gravity Gemstone to trap their Pokemon in the active. That's gonna be the plan. Maybe stall just a tad bit before we can start using Comfey to force them to draw cards. So with Lugia, they put Jet Energy, put in the active, they use Squawkabilly EX, Squawk and Seize ability, and that actually helps us out a little bit because that discards their entire hand, draw 6. But they did manage to discard a bunch of Archeops. Now they can just get a Lugia VSTAR, evolve it, use its ability, and set up those Archeops to accelerate special energies to their Pokemon. So with Buddy Buddy Poffin, we definitely will set up Mimikyu. And I don't know what surprises my opponent has. I'm just gonna set up Manaphy just so we can prevent them from taking multiple prizes if they do have any way to snipe our bench or whatever. So with Nest Ball, unfortunately our Pidgeot V is prized. We can't use our Forest Seal Stone, so I'm just gonna use Xerosic's Machination to disrupt my opponent's hand. Have them discard until they only have 3 left, and we're just gonna pass after this one. Hey, Iron Hands EX is actually pretty dangerous. Let's go ahead and take a chance with Mesagoza. Hey, we got heads, alright. We can get another Comfey. And so we have a lineup of Comfey so that we can keep drawing cards. We just need an energy and some way to draw extra cards. So at least our Mimikyu is immune to damage thanks to its Safeguard ability. I don't know if my opponent has any canceling Cologne. They could just knock out Mimikyu. So sacrificing their entire hand, they should have used Professor's Research, but they went for a Lugia VSTAR using Ultra Ball so they can set up their Archeops. And alright, this is a pretty good move. They're going to retreat into Archeops to attack our Mimikyu because Safeguard only protects Mimikyu from V or EX Pokemon, but not against any other non-rule box Pokemon, I guess. Well, I mean, Radiant Pokemon can still knock out Mimikyu. Non-EX or non-V is what it is. But with Archeops fully energized, they can knock out our Mimikyu. They can get 1 prize for that. And we're gonna be in deep trouble because we need an energy and no way for us to find any other Pokemon or any other supporter card from our deck to help us draw extra cards. So let's see what we could do here. Just gonna promote my Comfey into the active. And we got Night Stretcher. Hey, that actually helps us out. Let me go ahead and use Mesagoza first, see what I can do here. Alright, we got Tails. But anyways, I can use Night Stretcher to get a basic energy that we discarded earlier when we retreated our Mawile. And what I could do is just energize Comfey, draw 3, force my opponent to also draw 3, and hopefully we get something good here. Okay, another Comfey and a Crushing Hammer. I mean, Crushing Hammer, I could discard the double turbo energy, maybe just limit my opponent from attacking, hopefully. And I could use Counter Catchall also, that way I can trap maybe Ursaluna back into the active, and that could waste away their energies because if they do use Archeops to energize it just to retreat, and they're gonna be wasting those energies. So let's see what we could do. Yeah, they're gonna use Speedwing to knock out our Comfey. That's their second prize. Yeah, this Comfey build is you have to live dangerously with this one because you never know. Hey, we got an Arven. Alright. You could just easily die every turn and just lose the entire game. Hey, we got heads. Alright, Crushing Hammer. Let's go ahead and discard this double turbo energy. Now they'll have to accelerate another one or at least 2 more energies onto their active to keep attacking. But with Arven, I'm going to use Hisuian Heavy Ball. We could get Pidgeot V, use our Forest Seal Stone, and I do need more energies though. I feel like I should just get more energies. And then I'll just get Rescue Board and he's in Heavy Ball. Anyways, I could get those energies with Pidgeot V anyways. And I wanted to find out what else are prized, so I guess it's workable. So we got Pidgeot V. I can use Counter Catcher and just trap their Squawkabilly EX, since it really can't knock us out. And then we're gonna use Pidgeot V to use Forest Seal Stone and get ourselves the energies that we need. I mean, we got Neutralization Zone. We're gonna be using that late game, so I'll sacrifice a Comfey. That way we can get 2 energies. And then what I'm gonna do is just use Mawile, Rescue Board to retreat my Comfey, and I'm just gonna stall, trap my opponent in the active, and they're just gonna have to keep drawing every turn while they cannot knock out my Mawile, because Squawkabilly EX can only deal 20 damage at a time, and it's gonna take them 4 turns at least, or 5 turns to get a knockout against our Mawile. So all the while we could still draw into something good during that 4 turns, but what I'm afraid of is if my opponent draws into a Jet Energy, they can just attach it to one of their bench Pokemon and then switch out their Squawkabilly EX. And are actually Mist Energy. Wait, they attached a Jet Energy, but alright, they're just gonna attack. I wonder if Mist Energy, if they have Mist Energy, I think Tempting Trap will not work on Squawkabilly EX. Hey, we got another Heads with Crushing Hammer. Let's go ahead and discard this energy. And I'll attach this energy to Comfey. We're just gonna get ready for the next few turns. Gonna use Messagoza. We got Heads, alright, cool. We got Pidgeot V. Don't necessarily have to put it into play, so I'm just gonna use Tempting Trap to keep this Squawkabilly EX from retreating. Again, as long as they don't have any other item cards to switch out their Squawkabilly EX, we should be safe. And all the while, they'll have to sacrifice an energy from their deck to accelerate onto Squawkabilly, just so they can have it attack. So that's the plan, just keep it trapped in the active. It's not doing a lot of damage. And with Professor's Research, they discarded their entire hand, draw 7, and they just pass. Alright, cool. That is actually really good. We got an Airy from our top deck. Let's discard this Ultra Ball. They have Jet Energy, so they can definitely get this Squawkabilly EX out of the active, but they'll have to use it somehow. Alright, they're gonna use Jet Energy onto their Lugia VSTAR, and they're going to use Tempest Dive, and that discards Stadium. Yo, that's actually pretty dangerous. If we use Neutralization Zone, they could just discard it with this Lugia VSTAR. I wonder if we can trap Ursaluna and then have Neutralization Zone in play. They can't discard it. So at least we got an Arven with the Pokegear 3.0, which is good. We have Gravity Gemstone. We could probably use that to trap their active somehow. But we will need Counter Catcher as well to gust up one of their Pokemon. And we do have an energy to one of our Comfey. So let's go ahead and just Counter Catcher this Ursaluna into the active. We have our Rescue Board to retreat into this Comfey. And with that Gravity Gemstone, we're trapping or increasing the retreat cost of this Ursaluna. So they'll have to actually accelerate 4 energies onto it just to have it retreat. So we're looking pretty good. I think we're pretty good with this. So they have 3 double turbo energies, so they will have to attach a bunch of single energies onto their Ursaluna, and it can't even attack even this turn. And if they don't have any more energy, especially if they have 11 cards in their hand, yeah, all right. That's a good thing. Alright, I think we're in a good position right now. Let's go ahead and use Eri. They don't have any other item cards. They have boss orders though. That's fine. It's a little scary if they do boss my Manaphy, but we're just gonna keep using Flower Shower that both player draws cards, and again, as long as those energies are in their hand, they can't accelerate energies with Archeop's ability. So if they don't have any recovery cards, no way to accelerate energies to Ursaluna, no way to retreat it, but they have Iono. Alright, they have Iono. That's fine, as long as they've depleted all of the cards from their deck. If they don't have any more resources to retreat Ursaluna, I think we should be fine. They managed to attach an energy, but do they have 4 energies so that Ursaluna can attack? That's the question. But if they do, Ursaluna, I don't think it can attack 2 times in a row, but they only accelerated 1 energy. I think that's it. If they cannot accelerate any more energies, they cannot retreat Ursaluna. And yeah, I think we got this. Let's just continue to use Flower Shower. And with the amount of cards they have in the deck versus ours, we should still have the upper hand. Because they have 11 cards left in the deck. We're not going to deck out. They will deck out first before we do. So we should be fine. And this is where it... This is it. I think this is it, guys. We're just gonna continue to use Flower Shower. It's working. I can't believe this is working. This is insane. Alright, cool. So this is basically the whole strategy for this Comfey. So yeah, you just continue to draw and hopefully prevent your opponent from recovering any more. You know what? We have Hand Trimmer actually. Let's not give them a chance to recover anything. So with all those cards in their hand, they'll have to discard all of them except for 5. So they have to pick and choose the most important ones. And recovery is basically... Oh wait, we have to discard ours too. That's fine, that's fine, that's fine. We're basically evening out the playing field in a sense. I don't think we need Lost Vacuum, and I'll just get rid of Pokestop. And we can recover with Palpad anyways. Zerosic's Machination is very evil, so we'll recover that. And Misfortune Sisters. Attach an energy here. And Flower Shower. There you have it, guys. We got Crushing Hammer to discard more energies from their Pokemon. I don't think they have any more switching cards, to be honest with you. But they have Iono. How many Ionos do you have in this deck? That's the question. Hey, we got Neutralization Zone. That makes our Pokemon even more powerful, actually. So they have no choice but to attack with Archeops, but with no energies left, none of their main attackers will be able to damage our Comfey. So I think this is gonna be it. We have Super Rod to recover more cards from our discard pile back into the deck. Again, we have more cards than our opponent. And we're just gonna continue to use Flower Shower. Wow, this is amazing. This is actually working. This is insane. You know, it's pretty difficult to make this work, but yeah. There it is. My opponent has 3 cards left, and all we have to do is use 1 more Flower Shower to have them draw all of those, and going to their turn, they will lose the game because they don't have any more cards in their deck. There you have it, guys. Good game. Alright, on to our next match. We have Pidgeot V to start this one. And my opponent actually won the coin flip. They will be going first. And they're starting with an Applin in the active. Alright. This could be the Festival one, or it could be a Hydrapple. They have Toadscool and another Applin. Alright. Alright, so now it's our turn. Alright, cool. We got Pokegear from our draw. We have Buddy Buddy Poffin. This could be a Hydrapple or a Festival, but just to be sure, I'll set up Mimikyu and a Comfey. So Mimikyu can definitely guard against any Hydrapples that my opponent evolves into. And with Nest Ball, I will set up my Mawile. And then... Actually, you don't have to waste this energy on Pidgeot V to retreat it, since we can just shuffle it back to the deck along with Rescue Board. So I'm just going to use Earthen Vessel to get more energies. Use Arven. And then we're going to get Rescue Board to retreat Pidgeot V. And then go for a Buddy Buddy Poffin. That way we can set up more Comfeys. So with that, we're going to retreat into Comfey. And then we're just gonna get another Comfey and a Manaphy. So we have 2 Comfeys actually prized, which is gonna be a problem. We do have Hisuian Heavy Ball to get it though. And I'm just gonna Vanishing Wings Pidgeot V just in case my opponent evolves into a Hydrapple and then starts knocking out our Pokemon. But for now, we're just gonna Flower Shower to have both players draw 3 cards. We have Hand Trimmer, alright. With 9 cards in my opponent's hand, you can have him discard a bunch of them. And they're using a bunch of Trekking Shoes. That actually helps us out since they are now drawing a bunch of cards. And they set up another Applin. Area 0 Under Depths. So all they need is a Terra Pokemon. They can expand their bench up to 8. However, they will use a Iono that does put them back. They have Ogerpon, alright. And there it is, Teal Mask Ogerpon. So Ogre Comeback depends on how many Pokemon are on your opponent's bench Pokemon, alright. So we can actually control the damage output of that one, because Mimikyu can negate damage from Ogerpon EX. However, against that normal Ogerpon, they can use that to knock out our Mimikyu. For now, they're just attacking with Applin. They didn't evolve into a Hydrapple, which is good. And we failed with this Crushing Hammer. Alright, we have Airy. Let me go ahead and use this. They have a Hydrapple, but no rare candy. They're probably just going to use Iono next turn. But let me go ahead and disrupt their Area 0. That means they'll have to discard one of their Pokemon on their bench. Alright, we can use Artisan. Just reshuffle our deck, I guess, and then yeah, we're just gonna Flower Shower again. Alright, cool. We got Xerosic's Machinations. So as my opponent's hand grows even further, because I know they're gonna be drawing a lot of cards because they want those energies onto their Pokemon. Just use Xerosic's Machination, have them discard all those cards until they only have 3 left. But as it is, they are slowly progressing in their setup. They're just continuing to energize their Teal Mask Ogerpon EX, and they found the rare candy. They have Hydrapple EX, and with Ripening Charge, they have the energy in their hand to accelerate. And I think they're just gonna attack with the baby Ogerpon. However, Hydrapple EX needs 3 retreats. So they need 3 energies on Hydrapple to retreat it. They're gonna use Iono. So now they can attack with their baby Teal Mask Ogerpon and with Iono. I wonder how many switches if they have in this deck, but they're gonna pass. They couldn't get their Hydrapple retreated, so let's go ahead and use Airy. Hey, we got a bug catching set and a rare candy. Discard those 2, and I'm gonna power up this Maul. I think I could trap them. Well, which one is the question? Let me go ahead and use Crushing Hammer. We failed again! Yo, this Crushing Hammer, our RNG is so bad. You know what? I think attaching that Gravity Gemstone is not a good idea, because Comfey is not immune to Hydrapple EX's attack, so they could just knock it out. I think I wasted that, but it is what it is, I guess. That's fine, that's fine. So slowly but surely, we're just gonna continue to draw. They have 20 cards left in their deck. We have 29. We need that Hisuian Heavy Ball. That way we can get another Comfey from our prizes. At least keep our rotation of Comfeys going. And we'll have to recover it if we can't get the other one from our prizes. So now that their Hydrapple is fully energized, I think most of their Pokemon will be able to attack. And that's not a good thing. I'll have to find that neutralization zone pretty soon. But we will wait. They've only taken one prize right now, so we're not panicking just yet. And I'm just gonna put my Mimikyu into the active spot. Again, we are immune to damage from their Hydrapple. They will have to put their baby Ogerpon. Hey, we got heads from our Crushing Hammer. Finally. Let's go ahead and discard that one. I mean, if they run out of energy, this could be a good thing. So for now, I'm just going to put the Gravity Gemstone on Mimikyu. And then... yeah, we do have Neutralization Zone. I am always scared, because if you do prize the Neutralization Zone, sometimes your survivability just goes downhill and your opponent just gets 6 prizes over time. However, with the Neutralization Zone Stadium card, we have that potential where your opponent gets trapped in the active and they cannot damage our Mimikyu. So that's gonna be the whole gameplay as we progress with this match. But with the Gravity Gemstone attached, that means Hydrapple's retreat cost is now 4, adding 1 more to the cost. And since Mimikyu is immune to their damage, they cannot damage our Mimikyu. We should be fine. And since Hydrapple EX is the only Pokemon that can attach an energy onto it, we should be fine. Unless they have another Hydrapple, they evolve their Diplin, and they can accelerate more and then attach for turn from their hand. They can hard retreat their Hydrapple that way. But they're just gonna pass. We got another Crushing Hammer. Can we go 2 for 4? Oh no, okay. So we failed 3 Crushing Hammers, guys. We only had 1 successful Crushing Hammers in this game. It's very unfortunate. And since we can't really do anything else, that's all we could do is just wait, stall a little bit. And I think they're gonna go for a hard retreat on this Hydrapple EX onto their Ogerpon if they have the energy. And then they can take a knockout against our Mimikyu. Because right now, with 3 Pokemon on our bench, they're hitting for 2, 4, 6 plus 2. That's already 80 damage onto Mimikyu. So they can definitely take a knockout here. And there it is with 4 energies attached. They discard all of it to retreat into the baby Teal Mask Ogerpon. And with Ogre Comeback, they are dealing 80 damage to knock out our Mimikyu. That's very unfortunate. And yeah, I actually have the same counter in my Hydrapple bit. I still have to showcase my Hydrapple, but it's actually pretty similar to my opponent's build. But we got Arvin from our Pokegear 3.0. Let's go ahead and use this up, and then I could use Counter Catcher to have them move that Hydrapple EX back into the active. However, with no protection, we are at my opponent's mercy. So let's see what we could do here. What I could do is actually... let me just use Counter Catcher, I think. I'm just gonna trap their Hydrapple. I mean, I could trap their Applin also. Because with Hydrapple, they could just energize it and then you just knock us out. Let me go ahead and use Artisan. Yeah, there's really nothing that we could grab with it, but that's fine. I'm gonna go ahead and use Counter Catcher and get this Applin into the active, and we're just gonna Tempting Trap, stall for a little bit here. Just gonna chillax for a little bit, wait for my opponent to draw cards, and with 2 rare candies in the discard pile. I don't know if they have 3 rare candies in this build, but maybe they can't evolve into another Hydrapple EX. So they will boss my Manaphy, hoping that it will trap it in the active, but we do have Rescue Board. We can just retreat it and then continue to trap their Applin in the active spot. So we're gonna retreat and then just gonna use Tempting Trap once again. So we're just gonna stall this out just a little bit, right, until we get the desirable cards in our hand to further set up, and eventually we'll have to use Comfey to have them draw more cards from their deck. But we've wasted a lot of our Gravity Gemstone, but we do have a chance to recover it with Selene. But we do have to draw into that first. So they got an energy, they attached it to Applin, and they're gonna spray fluid, dealing 20 damage to our Mawile. So we have a few turns that we could use. We have Xerosic's Machination. Might as well use it up, have my opponent discard 2 cards from their hand, leaving them with only 3 left. They have 2 boss orders. Let's see. Yeah, we're just gonna Tempting Trap. And I don't know if my opponent has a retreat option. Do they have any more? Do they have any more switches to get this Applin out of the active spot? That is the question. They have Iono. That actually helps us out because now we draw 6 while my opponent draws 4. And we got a bunch of Aries. Hey, and it's Selene, so we can recover. Alright, this is looking good actually. But finding the right time to use Comfey will be the main objective here. Got another Artisan. I could use Pokestop, I guess. But if I do that, I might discard the Neutralization Zone. So, I mean, I could take a chance. Let's go ahead and use Pokestop. Why not? Hey, we got Hand Trimmer and a Heavy Ball. So, we can actually get one of our Comfeys. Got Counter Catcher. Alright. I think it's manageable. We didn't prize too many important stuff, but having another Comfey on our bench is actually really great. Let's say I could use Selene to recover stuff, but I'm gonna use Arven and just gonna use Forest Sealstone, Nest Ball, get our Pidgeot V out here in play, and then we can use Forest Sealstone to attach it and then grab any one card from our deck with Star Alchemy ability. And with that, I think I'm gonna go for Neutralization Zone, and let's go ahead and use Vanishing Wings first. Put our Pidgeot V into safety, and I'm gonna use Tempting Trap. I'm not gonna use Neutralization Zone just yet because I want Comfey to be in the active. Have my opponent keep drawing until the end of time. The only thing is, oh, they're gonna Iono. We're gonna lose the Neutralization Zone. I was gonna say is recover the Gravity Gemstone with Selene, put Neutralization Zone in play, then we can trap their Hydrapple EX in the active. So we'll be immune to damage, and then we're just gonna continue to draw until they deck out. That was the plan anyways until they Iono'd me, so that's that's really frustrating. But our only weakness will have to be that baby Teal Mask Ogre Pawn, and that's why trapping whatever active we put in my opponent's active is pretty crucial before we play Neutralization Zone, because again, you can only use that once per game. If it's discarded, you cannot recover the Neutralization Zone Stadium. So let me go ahead and sacrifice Buddy Buddy Poffin. We don't have any more energies. We'll have to recover with Super Rod if we do need it, which we will need it. So with Arvin, I think I'm just gonna go for Super Rod. And we're gonna recover Mimikyu, Comfey, and another energy. I think that should last us until the end of this game. So let's go ahead with Tempting Trap one more time. We can still survive one more attack, and then we'll retreat and then start using Comfey in the next few turns. So let's see how my opponent approaches this one. I feel like if my opponent does not have any switching options, this is a real... It's gonna lose easily to the Snorlax stall. So they're just gonna go for an attack against our Moyle. Again, we survive an attack. We got another Comfey. This is a beautiful setup right here. And the next few turns, since my opponent still needs 4 prizes to win this game, we can actually sacrifice our Comfeys one at a time and then just keep drawing cards until my opponent decks out. So we're gonna retreat our Moyle. We're gonna Flower Shower. Each player draws 4 cards, and then we're gonna go from there. So with that, my opponent is no longer trapped in the active. They can retreat their Applin or Hydrapple now that it's evolved thanks to Rare Candy. And once they retreat, they can attack with, again, that Baby Ogre Pawn if we do end up playing the Neutralization Zone. So trapping my opponent's Pokemon in the active is going to be crucial in this match before we play the Neutralization Zone Stadium. For now, my opponent takes a knockout with Hydrapple EX. So they have 3 prizes left, and thankfully we got Night Stretcher. We can recover those energies and just keep powering up our Comfey and force my opponent to draw cards. For now, I'm going to use Boss Orders and get this Hydrapple EX into the active. Hopefully they don't have any energies to attack with it. So for now, Flower Shower once again, and slowly but surely, now that my opponent has 10 cards in their hand, we can use the Rosex Machinations next turn to have them discard all of those except for 3. And with 4 cards left in their deck, I think we should be fine. They will take a knockout here. We're just gonna recover. Alright, so it seems like my opponent manages to find more energies to power up their Hydrapple EX, taking a knockout against our Comfey. And we're just gonna... we just need an energy to basically power up our Comfey. We got Neutralization Zone. Thankfully, we also have Night Stretcher, so we can grab another energy, power this guy up, and then we can play Neutralization Zone. But we could use Celine here. Come on, give me some heads, please. Hey, we got one. All right. And what I'm gonna try and do is actually get Super Rod. I was thinking of getting Gravity Gemstone, but Super Rod I think is the best option because we need more Pokemon to draw just in case we fail here. And then we're gonna play Pokestop here because we did have Celine recover our item card, and we got Hand Trimmer even. So that forces my opponent to discard cards from their hand until they only have 5 left. Alright, there it is. And then, oh, that's right, it also affects us, but that's fine. Nothing too detrimental here. We get rid of Airy as well, and then we're gonna use Super Rod, recover some more Comfeys and an energy. I think this is all we need to actually win this game. My opponent has 4 cards left in their deck. I think we should be fine. And then we're gonna play Neutralization Zone. So that will force my opponent to actually retreat into their Baby Ogerpon if that's what it takes. But we're gonna go ahead and use Flower Shower to have both player draw 3 cards, and at the beginning of my opponent's turn they will draw 1 extra card, and that puts them down to 0 cards left in their deck unless they can recover anything else from their discard pile back into their deck. Even if they knock out my active Comfey, which will require another energy to retreat, which they do have. All right, so they need to recover. So with the Neutralization Zone in play, they cannot knock out my Comfey with Hydrapple, so they had to retreat into this baby Ogre Pond. But like I said, if they don't recover anything here, they knock out my Comfey. All we have to do is just pass next turn, and that will win us the game. This is unbelievable, guys. This is unbelievable. It is actually possible to win with this Comfey. This is insane. And there you have it, guys. With my opponent not being able to recover anything, we will win this game with Comfey with this strategy. Insane. So all we have to do is press end turn, and that will win us the game. Good game. And that's it for the video. Thank you all so much for watching the Popsicleknight channel, and until next time, please stay safe and have a great day.